Love is Blind, the Denver cast is playing in our face, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. It's only been 2 episodes so far. One person is kissing the floor, and I have never seen this many love triangles in my whole entire Love is Blind career. Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video. Love is Blind, season 9, episodes 1 and 2. Y'all, we got some things to get into. We really do, because I'm trying to get to 5 and 6, okay? I watched 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and I'm trying to get to 5 and 6. But we are here to discuss episodes 1 and 2 so far. So let's just go ahead and get into it. But before we do, if this is your first time here, sit back, relax, watch the video through. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I got my son out the house for 3 hours, so I got to record as much as I can record, okay? So I can get these reviews up and ready for y'all, okay? So let's just go ahead and get into it. But I want to start off by saying the trailer for this daggone season is a mess, okay? Everybody on the whole daggone trailer is crying some more, which lets me know that we don't have a lot to look forward to, okay? So Nick and Vanessa Lachey, they come out, they ask these singles, why did y'all choose to sign up for Love is Blind? So Cabri said she had to fall out of love with her type to find her husband. She said her type has gotten her nowhere. Baby, from what I have watched so far, not your type has probably not gotten you anywhere either, okay? I'm just saying, foreshadowing at its best, okay? Now, Michael said, great love takes great risk, and he'd rather risk his eyes and use his heart. Let me tell you what you also risk. All your time. Because, baby, we didn't see you not one time so far in the last 4 episodes that I done watched, okay? Now, Nick Lachey said some of the greatest love stories start with, I never would have gone for them, but now I am so in love. And you want to know what kind of love stories those are? It's usually the ones where the woman is getting cheated on and the man don't like her, or the woman is playing the man out, okay? That's usually how those relationships go. I'm just saying, okay? Now, Edmond said that he has been in foster care his whole childhood. So he never really got to experience having a personal family. So this is his chance to build one. I think that's very sweet. But Edmond, me and you won't have beef. Me and you are going to have beef, okay? So Madison says she has a blinding condition and there is a good chance she's going to go blind. So this experience stimulates what her life can be like if she does lose her vision. Now, I had so many thoughts running through my head when I heard this because I'm like, I don't know if that's a lot to ask somebody you meeting on a reality TV show to take on, because if you do go blind, are they going to be your caretaker? I had so many different mixed emotions, but that kind of changes as the story go on. We'll get to it when we get to it, all right? Now, Jordan said that he is a single parent, and when he tells women that, it usually turns them off. So he's here to, see if he can find someone who's willing to be a stepmom to his child. But he's not going to keep it a secret. He's going to let them know up front that he's a parent. I respect it, okay? So y'all already know how this process goes. They have 10 days to fall in love, and then they have 4 weeks to their wedding to decide whether or not love is truly blind. Now, y'all not new to this, y'all true to this, so let's go ahead and get into it because the pods are open. So the first person we meet is Casey. Now, Casey says she had a rough time dating, okay? She says she has never not been cheated on. Girl, it's a lot of women out here that can relate. Okay, a lot of people have never not been cheated on. She said that she has a big heart and she is ready to give it to someone. She said that her ex was always looking at the next hot blind, which made her not so confident in herself, okay? So in this case, she is ready to fall in love without actually seeing this person, so she knows that this person actually loves her and likes her for who she is, and being hot is just a bonus. Okay, girl, I see you. Now, she goes on her first official date with Patrick, right? And they discuss what they do and things like that. She says she's a makeup artist. She plays sports. He also plays sports. He plays basketball. He's a project manager, and he works remotely. So that means that, all those travel dreams that she has, they're going to be able to do that because he's not, stuck to one place, all right? Now, Patrick is Asian American, and he has struggled with dating because he's always the only Asian dude in the mix, okay? He said interracial dating has been hard for him. He usually only dates white girls, but he's open to all ethnicities. Are you sure about that, Patrick? Are you sure? Because how you and Anna over here acting like y'all don't even like your own kind. I'm just saying. Which brings me to Anna, because he also is going on a date with Anna, who is also Asian American. And she said that she normally dates white men, okay? And that's just because that's usually who she's around. Now, Patrick and Anna are almost so much alike. They're very similar. They compare themselves to that Spider-Man meme where it's like, who, because, you know, they both have experienced the same thing. Now, Anna is also Chinese, and you can tell that when them two are talking, they both realize, hey, are you Chinese? Are you Asian? And I think it was when they was talking about the languages they speak that gave it away. Now, we move into Anna. Now, mind you, Anna has a connection with Patrick, right? But she also has a connection with Blake, okay? Now, Anna and Blake also seem to be off to a good start, right? They get into these hot topics. He's not super religious, neither is she. She told that man that he does not sound homophobic or racist. And he said, I'm not. I'm like, just because he's not super religious doesn't mean that he's not homophobic or racist, but we will never know, will we? We never will know, okay? But Blake said that he realized that it was finally time to put his career to the side to find love, okay? Because once his grandma told him, like, baby, do you got a girlfriend, a wife, or somebody you talking to? That's when he realized that it was time. Now, the way that Love is Blind is setting this up is like they literally going from connection to connection to connection. So I need y'all to follow me. Follow me, okay? Now, Blake is also talking to Megan, okay? He is kind of hitting it off with her as well. And they are both here because they spent their 20s focusing on their career. And now they both are ready to settle down and have children. Now, Megan calls herself Sparkle Megan because, you know, she feels like she's that girl. She has the money, she has all the things, and now she's ready to have a family, okay? She said that she feels like men are insecure because she has made a really great living for herself. So she also is talking to Mike. And his face lit up when she said that she support gender roles, okay? That man said, oh, not only is she working, she cooks, she cleans, she do all the things. Ding, 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 ding. My type of woman. He's like, yeah, she gonna bring home the bacon and she gonna cook it. That's what I'm talking about. But she makes it very clear that she also wants a provider. Okay, one thing about Sparkle Megan, she said she wasn't taking care of nobody, but I don't know how true that really is when we get down to the end of this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So Mike is 37, and I'm just confused on why he didn't want to tell her his age, because like they literally in the same age bracket. Like, do he think that he too young or too old? Like, Mike, what's T, sir? What's T? But Megan also has a connection with Jordan, right? And Jordan is just so invested in trying to figure out what kind of car Megan drives. And I mean, he is just like running all these cars down. And I'm like, sir, you drive a Kia. You drive a Kia. So whatever car she drives, obviously she don't want to tell you because obviously it's more expensive than your Kia. Ain't nothing wrong with your Kia, but it's apparent that homegirl got money, okay? So he wasted no time in letting her know that he is a single father to a 5-year-old son. And I don't know if these two would be a good match at all. So of course Megan asked him, hey, do you want any more kids? And he said that he had a vasectomy and it could be reversed. It could be reversed, but he's not really sure. Now I'm sitting here thinking like, dang, what happened with the child's mother? What happened with his child's mother so much so that he decided that he was going to get a vasectomy? Like that man said, oh, I'm not doing this ever again. And then I was sitting here thinking like, is he a single dad? Yes, but it also sounds like he doesn't have full custody of his child. So I don't think stepping into a stepmother role would be as hard as it would be if he had full custody, okay? But we'll get into that when it's time to get into that. Now, these two are completely opposites, and I really feel like he is not a good match for her. Even though she continues to entertain him, knowing that she wants a family, knowing that he's probably not as financially stable as she wants him to be, and they just seem like they're on two different paths in life. So now we have Ali and Anton in the pods, right? Now he tells her, listen, my name is Anton, but I go by Tony, but I decided that since I'm here to meet my wife, that I'm going to go by the name that I was given, okay? Now Ali also feels like she should go by her real name, which is Elena. I think it's Alina, something like that. I'm sorry, Ali, girl. I'm sorry. I don't mean to mess up your name, okay? But we're going to call you Ali. But let me tell you something. Anton is already sitting here thinking about proposing to her. He is sitting here like, what is your middle name? What is your last name? I need to know all the things so that when it's time for me to ask you to be my wife, I come correct, okay? Anton sounds like a man's man, okay? He said that he's old school, he's traditional, he's a provider. He has built the life that he wanted, even through all the obstacles that he had to face. Now listen, y'all. Listening to Anton talk, if I'm Ali, I'm eating it all up. Listening to them talk about the type of relationship they want. They both want a relationship that their kids can look up to and say, my mom and dad had this, and something that the kids could admire. And these two seem to really be connecting, okay? I really love the fact that in their conversation, she noticed that he seems to be pushing his feelings down. Now, he said that he usually doesn't express his feelings, but when he does, it's only if he feels safe, and that he doesn't need the woman or the person he cares about to actually do anything about it. He just wants that person to listen and be there for him. And you know what? It's crazy because a lot of men are like this. They don't even want to express how they feel. And it's not like they want you to do anything about it, because they literally, real men are trying to solve the problems in their head, so they try to deal with it on their own. But I just love the simple fact that, you know, he's realizing that he does want someone who he can confide in, someone who's going to listen to him and just comfort him and make him feel better, or even talk through whatever the issue is. You know what I mean? So I love that. They already calling each other baby and babe, and he's telling her that he likes her, and she's just sitting there in shock. Oh my God, they connecting so quickly. Now, I know that this wasn't a span of maybe 2 days, but it is episode 1. So for me, they falling in love pretty damn quick, okay? Now, we meet Edmond, and he is a very interesting character, okay? Edmond has a lot of energy and a lot of energy. That's what I'm going to say. Now, he matched with Cabri, right? And he said that she matches his energy. Absolutely not. I don't even think she realized how much energy you got for real. This man has been running up and down the daggone pods doing the most, okay? And this is the one in the trailer who also says he eats his boogers. So y'all already know I'm turned off, right? Y'all know I'm turned off? Okay. Now, she's just as into him as he is into her. And I'm like, I wonder how this is going to play out. So they are talking about what kind of marriages they want. But it's dag on KB for me, because she's over there talking about something. I'm fine with being a breadwinner. I'm fine if you want to stay home and take care of the kids. I'm fine if you want to cook. I'm fine. I'm sitting here like, girl. And he eating it up. He over there like, like doing the dramatics. I said, oh, he feel like he got him one. And Edmond gives me this childlike energy. So I feel like if they did actually stick together, she would become more of a mother figure than a wife figure. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But I'm not mad at Cabri for wanting to work, because she said she worked hard for her degrees and she's going to use them. I'm not mad at her at all. But I do want y'all to be more 50-50 than 70-30 or 60-40, because the way it's coming off is giving that you will be carrying most of the weight. I'm just saying. So their conversations are a little intimate though, okay? He talks about his upbringing. He talks about how he was in foster care, how he was moved from home to home, how sometimes his mom would get him back and then they would get taken away again. Like, it's a lot that Edmond went through, and I don't know if it's his childhood trauma that has caused him to be stuck in his childlike state, or if he's on a spectrum or whatever, but he's definitely had some trauma that I don't know if he completely worked through, okay? Now, this resonates with her because she likes to help the less fortunate. She has a nonprofit. She's trying to open up Section 8 housing. So she resonates with his childhood and how he was brought up. So I can understand how they are emotionally connected, okay? He also gets super emotional to the point where he starts crying. And I mean, he's really crying. Not like the tears are falling. I mean, like the ugly cry with the snort and all the things of the things. And he seems like he's really holding on to some hurt, okay? I don't know if Edmond ever been to therapy, but I really feel like that is something that he should go to. And I feel like he knows that, because he says that's why he wants to work with children, because he wants to be able to support the children the way he wanted someone to support him. Now, KB is completely falling for Edmond. She loves his vulnerability. She loves the fact that he's opening up, and she feels like, I think she feels like she can heal him. And Cabri definitely gives me that energy where it's like, I can build you up, I can heal you, I can be all these things for you. And I don't think it's necessarily her fault. I think that's just part of who she is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Now, Anton is completely falling in love with Ali, right? But he feels like he needs a little bit more clarity. So when they get into the past, she tells him that she had a dream and his mom was in it, okay? She said he was coming out of prison and her mom was picking him up. And I'm just sitting here like, girl, that would be a red flag for me. Okay, let me have to pick somebody up in my dreams. That's God telling me he is not the one. Right there, red flag. I don't care if it was real or fake. Them dreams speak to you, okay? So she basically tells him that she can't stop thinking about him. And he asked her, how does she feel about him? And she said that she loves him. She loves everything about him. Now, he took this long pause. So I'm like, did you get the clarity you want, Anton? Like, why did you take this long pause? But then he also said that he loves her as well. And that he also had a dream about her. And that's when he knew that she was the one for him. And then, of course, he asked her right there on the spot, would she like to spend the rest of her life with him and marry him? And she is a wreck, okay? Homegirl is over there crying tears of joy, and she said yes. Now, I know it seems like we got here fast, right? We got to this connection, this bond really fast, but that's because that's how fast all this has been going, okay? Now, I know we was like, Dad, y'all got to move this along. We've been in the pods for a long time, but baby, this was fast, okay? But we did get clips of how they ended up where they are now. And they seem to be off to a good start. But nothing is never how it seems on Love is Blind. So we'll have to see when they actually meet each other and when they get to that daggone little honeymoon phase. We'll see what happens in that part, okay? Now, Jordan and Sparkle Megan are still dating. Now, I'm sitting here thinking like, dang, I really didn't think they would still be dating because like, no, I don't feel like Jordan's for Megan. She said that she kind of written him off a little bit. He also said that he was kind of writing her off a little bit because of her name, Sparkle Megan. He don't want no girl with Sparkle Megan. It's giving very much materialistic. You know what I mean? But he's opening up to her more and he's telling her about his son and how whatever decision he makes, he also has to make sure that it's the best decision for his son as well. He tells her that his son has type 1 diabetes, and that pulled on Megan's heartstrings because her father, who passed away, also had type 1 diabetes. And I think that at this point, this is when I feel like Megan kind of started trauma bonding with Jordan. Because Megan knows deep down in her heart of hearts that she shouldn't be continuing to talk to Jordan. But the trauma in her is starting to bond with him, okay? And it's obvious that she's not really feeling Jordan at this moment because when he's telling her all the things that he wants to do and where he wants to go in life and all the things, she's just sitting here like, and you deserve that. And I want you to have that. And that's good for you. Never once did she make it seem like it would be a them or an us. It was always like, yeah, and I wish you the best. That's what it was giving. So they had this really intimate conversation, y'all, and it was really sweet because he asked her, what does falling in love feel like to you? And she started naming all these things that she feels when she falls in love. And he asked her, are you experiencing any of those feelings? And she said she is. So he said, so I guess you can say that falling in love feels like this. And I was like, ooh, Jordan, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing because Jordan's a nice guy. And I know she wants well for him. He's not it, Megan. I'm sorry. Do not trauma bond because of what you went through with your father and what he's going through with his son. Because your lifestyles does not mesh well. And even though I'm sure that they shouldn't be together, I'm wondering, does she realize that they shouldn't be together? She said that even though she laughs with him a lot and they have a lot of fun, she doesn't see their lifestyles meshing well together. And that's because she really likes Mike. She feels like they are the most compatible. And I would agree. They seem like they have similar lifestyles. They both seem well off. They both into health and wellness. He has a hot tub and a sauna in his place. And I'm like, yeah, this sounds like your type of man, girl. He seems like the man that's on your level. And then he also seems like a guy looking for love because he's here on Love is Blind. So it's given maybe Mike is who you should be with. But she likes Mike, but that's not her number one. Her number one is Blake. She playing with Jordan. Mike is a backup plan, but her number one is Blake. And this is what I mean by all these damn love connections, that everybody's intertwined with everybody. Megan got all the men, literally all the men, okay? But when she was talking to Blake, he opened up about his relationship with his dad and how they didn't really have a relationship, okay? He spoke about how he regret not fostering or rekindling that relationship that he had with his dad when he found out that his dad was sick. But he also feels like, you're the father. Why didn't you want to do that? And I feel like it's time to just let whatever that hurt is, let it go. Whatever it is that you were holding on to, Blake, you have to let it go, okay? Your father isn't here, and if y'all wasn't able to rekindle or reconnect by the time he passed away, you have to let the hurt go. Just make it right with yourself, okay? Forgive yourself and move on. It's not healthy. You won't be able to foster a trusting relationship, like you said, if you keep holding on to the feeling of abandonment, the feeling of resentment, the feeling that you can never trust someone. The more you hold on to that, the more you're not going to be able to let someone in. But she loves the fact that he is vulnerable with her. But see, the thing is, Megan also experienced how her father passed away and how she was able to forgive him. And I feel like I want to know what happened between her and her father that she felt like she needed to forgive him. Because they never really got deep into it. Now, this is why I feel like Megan should be with Blake, okay? Because watching Megan with Jordan and watching her with Mike, I realized that Blake is her balance, okay? He's doing well for himself. He may not be as accomplished as Mike, but he's doing well for himself. He also is very emotionally in tune. Yes, he has a lot of healing to do, but he also is helping her open up, and he's also opening up to her, which gives them a very different, unique dynamic, which is why I understand that he's her number one. So now it's time for Ali and Anton reveal, because we know that they are engaged, right? And I have high hope for these two, but I'm not sure if she would be attracted to him. Okay, so I'm already sitting here like, I don't know. Anton took them daggone glasses off, put them on his head. He said, oh no, when she see me, I'm not gonna have them glasses on. So Anton comes out and you can tell that he can't really see. That man is squinting for dear life, just trying to see what she looked like, okay? But they go up to each other. They share this really nice kiss. And he low-key trying to check out her booty, talking about something, I like the curls, I like the curls. No, sir, you like the booty, okay? He just keeps saying how she's smoking hot. She looks better than he thought she would. All the things of the things. And I'm not gonna lie, she also seems just as attracted to him as he is to her. He's trying to tell her how he feels and stuff like that, and she had to stop the conversation to burp or whatever. And he was like, yuck. I was like, well, I mean, she is human. If she got a burp, she got a burp. But something seems off with these two. I don't like this baby voice that Ali has. Okay, she's like, oh, baby, oh, Anton. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't know. And when Anton walked away, he did not turn around to look at her. Like, you know how normally when they get to the door, they like look at each other and stuff like that? He didn't do that. And so to me, something feels off with Anton and Ali, okay? Now, mind you, I only got to episode 4, so I don't know if I'm correct or not, but I definitely feel like something is off. I don't know if the burp did it or what. I don't know if it's the voice, but something is definitely off, and she annoyed me. So I could imagine he probably was annoyed as well. Now, Madison and Joe are back in the pods, okay? And he is deeply concerned about these daggone cats because he keep asking her, do your cats shed? Do your cats do this? And she's like, no, my cats don't do none of that. If I had a dog, would you be asking me this? She made it very clear that if he don't like them cats, then it's a deal breaker for her, okay? He's like, no, I'm fine with the cats. I'm fine with the cats. Are you sure about that, Joe? Are you sure about that? And then Joe did something that made me feel like, yeah, no. It's a no for me with him, okay? Because he said that his lease is up and that if they was to get married, would she be okay with him moving in with her? And she's like, I mean, of course, if we get married, it would be okay with me, but I would just be more concerned about us having something together. It's giving you ain't got no place to live. That's what it's giving. Because the first question you asked her was, you own a condo, right? Yeah, and my lease is about to be up, so can I live with you? Absolutely not. I was like, no, Joe is a no for for me immediately? Absolutely no. So Madison is really liking Joe, okay? And she's like, I just can't find anything wrong with you. I just keep sitting here thinking like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, no, what's wrong with you? And she's like, no, what's wrong with you? And he's like, no, what's wrong with you? And she was like, well, since you asked, there's kind of something wrong with me, okay? Now listen, my eyes, they look fine. But I do have an eye condition and I could potentially go blind. Now you can tell that he was trying to like solve this, okay? He went in straight like, okay, so is there anything that you can take? Is there anything that you can do? Is the procedure that you can have? He's thinking of multiple things that can correct this. And she's like, there's nothing. There's nothing that we can do to fix this. She also lets him know that that's why she signed up for this. Because she said that if she does lose her eyesight, then she knows that there's an emotional aspect that will keep them bonded. And I love that. At first, I was on the fence about, her coming up here and is that going to be a burden on the other person? But when she put it in a perspective of the emotional connection, the emotional bond, sight unseen, do you still feel what you feel for me? Even if I can't see you. I love it. I love it. And to think that I was really skeptical about it is crazy because it makes perfect sense for her. But I wonder if that's a lot for him. You know what I mean? But it's not for sure that she would lose her sight, but it is a strong possibility that it could happen. But the thing is, Joe doesn't care. Joe doesn't care because he said that he feels like she could be his wife. And this doesn't change how he feels about her at all. And a part of me is like, yeah, because she owns a condo and your lease is almost up. That's what a part of me is saying, but I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying not to be. But I don't know. These couples are not giving me the feels that I feel like I should be feeling. So back in the pods, the ladies are discussing Nick and they feel like, he's a player, okay? And they shouldn't trust him. They really should not trust him because he's literally repeating the same things to multiple women over and over and over. He's definitely a playboy, telling all the girls that they at the top of his list and so on and so forth. I just don't trust Nick. Nothing about Nick is trustworthy. But he has a real strong connection with Katie. And when he's talking to her, I'm just sitting there low-key in disgust, okay? He's talking about how he would bully kids to get girls. And then he says something about seeing kids hurt is so hilarious to him. And I'm just sitting here like, it's not a good quality for a man that you want to have children with. Because why is seeing a child hurt hilarious? Why are you bullying children to get women's attention? Like, sir, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I don't trust Nick. I don't like Nick. And he's definitely playing, okay? Now, Katie says that she feels like Nick is perfect. And she's wondering if she's missing any of the red flags. Because there's no way this man is this perfect. Whenever someone seems like they're too perfect, they definitely are. Okay? And yes, girl, you are overlooking the red flags because you laughing at him bullying children. Child, it sounds crazy to me. It sounded crazy to me listening to it, okay? And something is completely off with Nick, okay? He's telling Katie how, she's like the one for him. He's talking about how he feel the fireworks just for him to turn around and say Annie is his wild card. He said that they have an intense flame, but he doesn't even know if they will really work because although they are very similar, they live two different lifestyles. So Nick and Annie are talking in the pods, right? And he's telling her how he can't be this strong man. He don't believe in gender roles, okay? He will fight the battles, but he wants someone that's going to be right beside him fighting. He wants this to be an equal relationship, okay? He wants to be somebody's rock and he wants somebody to be that for him as well. And I understand that relationships are a partnership and you want someone that's going to fight the battles with you. But for you to say that you can't be a strong man is very concerning to me, okay? I don't know why that stood out so much. And I probably do know now that I'm talking out loud about the next couple of episodes that we get into. But him saying that he can't be a strong man really kind of bothered me a little bit. Because it makes me feel like she wouldn't be safe with him. But she's not really listening for real, for real. She's just like, I want to be married. And then somehow she spills her water and the conversation turns a little sexual, okay? Because he's like, oh, so it's wet over there. And she's like, oh yeah, it's wet. Everything turns me on. Everything is sexy to me. Touch my neck, touch my back, touch me in the shower, touch me while I'm cooking, touch me while I'm doing the dishes. Everything just turns me on. And now they're about to have pod sex. Because now he's turned on, talking about, is it getting wetter? And I'm just sitting here like, I don't need to be witnessing this, okay? And the banter about his penis and all the things of the things, it's cute because they grown, but I could go without it. You know what I mean? I feel like there's some things that we don't need to be privy to. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Now, Katie says that, the banter between her and Nick is fun, it's cute, she enjoys it. But it's not cute enough, okay? Because her number one is Brendan. Edmond, this is not the show for Edmond. Does Edmond deserve love? I'm sure he does, but not on this show, okay? He's weird. Okay, the man is kissing the floor. He's laying flat on the floor and he's kissing it. And I'm sitting here like, Cabri doesn't even know what she's about to get herself into. Like, I understand he's a little odd. I understand he's a little weird. I understand he has high energy. But the man is literally on the floor kissing it. Like, no, this is too much. All the men that they have on the show, why are we honing in on him doing ridiculous stuff like this? Like, it really pisses me off. Because she's telling the ladies how she needs an alpha male. So why would you go for Edmond? Nothing about Edmond screams alpha male, Cabri. This is what I mean by you know what you want, but she's overlooking it. Because she likes his vulnerable side. Meanwhile, he's over there in the pod spinning around on the floor. This bothered me so much. Because I feel like this is not the dating experiment for Edmond at all. So now KB gets in the pause, right? And she's telling him how she wants to learn more about him. And I'm like, well, girl, let me tell you what we know. We know that he kisses floors. We know that he eats boogers. I don't think he gave you that information, but I'm going to give it to you now, okay? But Edmond, I'm not going to lie, seems like a really, really sweet guy, okay? He said in his past he was sad and he wanted love. And now he's happy and he wants love. And I mean, that was kind of deep. That was kind of deep. She said that she's at peace and already happy with herself because in past relationships, she was depending on her partner to make her happy. And I think that is something that everyone needs to learn, that just because you're sad does not mean that you need to be in a relationship. Sometimes when you are sad, you need to learn how to love yourself. You need to learn how to embrace your own presence, how to be happy with yourself so that when you are in relationship with someone, you then can be happy in love and not so dependent on someone else to make you happy. So I'm glad that they had that conversation. And she also asked him where he found peace, and he said it was in his rollerblade community. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was like, be effing for real. But then I remembered how he was brought up and how he didn't really have a family. So I can understand why his rollerblade community would bring him peace because it feels like a family to him. And you can tell that he's definitely longing to be a part of a family because he's telling her like, I can't wait to meet your family. I'm going to treat them like they're my blood. And she's like, oh, they definitely going to treat you like family. And I think he just wants this so bad. So bad. And the thing with Edmond is I don't feel like it really matters who the woman is. It could be any woman and he would feel the same exact way. So I don't know if he really likes KB for who she is or if he just likes the idea of having someone to call his wife or his woman to start a family with. But I do love how he's talked about forgiving his mom. And he said the only reason that he had to forgive her was because that's his mom and he loves her. So we find out through that conversation that KB doesn't have a relationship with her father. And she said that, she tried to mask it, but it hurts. And I think that's a lot of women. I think that's a lot of people who don't have their fathers in their lives. They try to act like they're fine. They can do without it. When deep down inside, they dealing with daddy issues, okay? Just like Blake. Blake talks about how he wished he would have rekindled that relationship with his father. But his father didn't want it. And you can't want more than what the parent want. So I totally feel like everyone's just out here just trying to mask that it doesn't bother them when deep down, they really be dealing with a lot of issues when it comes to having mother and father issues, okay? She said that she can't really forgive her father so much because she doesn't even know if he really loves her. So I'm going to give you the same advice that I gave Blake. You got to let it go. You got to let it go because the more you hold on to it, the more it's going to affect your relationships going forward. You're never going to feel like you could trust someone. You're going to be codependent on them. You're going to be scared of abandonment. And I also feel like this is another reason why she feels like she wants to save Edmond, because she felt like no one saved her. Now, Edmond told her that she can be soft with him because she said that she doesn't want to be tough. But I feel like that's not going to plan out well. Because although she can be soft with you, she also has to be tough for you. I can tell already that she's going to have to be the one to wear the pants in this relationship. She's going to have to be the protector. She's going to have to be the provider, which is why I'm just so confused as to why she picked Edmond. Nothing about Edmond gives off masculine, strong masculine energy, like the protective provider. And she's saying that she wants an alpha male. And she's saying that she doesn't want to be tough anymore. But I feel like your pick is off because by your picking Edmond, you're going against what you actually want. And I know you said that you wanted to do something different, but baby, the qualities that you were looking for are not in him. I'm just saying, okay? Now, Megan is talking to Jordan, and I'm going to really need her to stop leading that man on. Girl, you don't want that man, okay? Stick with Blake and Mike and figure it out from there. Because the more you talk to Daggone with Jordan, the more you feel like you like him. And it's not liking him, you're trauma bonding. I'm just letting you know that, okay? Now, Megan, I'm going to need you to stop leading Jordan on, okay? You don't want that man for real, okay? Out of Blake and Mike, I'm leaning towards Blake. So I'm glad that he's her number one. But dag, Blake's number one is Anna. Blake's talking about his top connection is Anna. And he done set up this whole like little camping date for them. I said, well, damn, I guess she gonna have to go with Mike because Blake clearly wants Anna. They over there roasting marshmallows. They doing mating calls. Like, it was so adorable. They are talking about what kind of kisses they like. Basically, they like all the kisses, okay? So I like, to make out. I like forehead kisses. I like neck kisses. They like all the kisses, okay? And he asked her, has she ever ghosted someone? And she said, no, I never really ghosted someone. I mean, the conversations probably like fizzled out and we just stopped talking, but I never really ghosted anyone. And he said he never ghosted anyone either. I'm like, oh my God, this date is beautiful. Everything about this is lovely. I am here for all of it, okay? And y'all, at this moment, I am all in on Anna and Blake, okay? The date was beautiful. Everything was nice. I'm just like, yes, this is my next couple. I'm definitely rooting for them, okay? And just like that, we find out that Anna can't stop thinking about Patrick. After that nice little camping date that she done had with Blake, she just can't stop thinking about Patrick, okay? But while she's thinking about Patrick is in the pods with Casey, okay? And Patrick said that Casey crossed off all his boxes. And as they are sitting there talking, they're talking about physical attraction and how important it was in their past experiences. She even mentioned how her father told her that attraction and passion is very important. So he hopes that she knows what she's getting herself in. And y'all, when they started talking about attraction and passion, that's when you can see the concern in Patrick start to arise, okay? Patrick's telling her how his family isn't American, okay? He talked about his insecurities with his ethnicity and all the things that he experienced because of it. So she's like, so what are you? What is your ethnicity? And you could tell that he did not want to tell her. Like, he was contemplating badly, like, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I can. And I'm just sitting here like, sir, you either love who you are or you don't. Now, I know the whole point of Love is Blind is to not to disclose this information, and you're more than welcome to do that. But honestly, if I can be completely honest, Patrick does not like who he is. Okay? I know he claims he does, but that man is insecure about being Asian. He tells her he doesn't really want to tell her because he doesn't want to be judged. There's a lot of self-work that he needs to do. A lot of self-work that he needs to do because he struggled so hard with saying that his family was South Asian and Chinese. And I felt bad for him. I really did, because like, he doesn't like who he is. It's like internal racism. You know how like in the Black community we have colorism? He has like internal racism. And it was just so sad to see how uncomfortable it was for him to say it. Even though he says he's confident in who he is. And I'm like, are you sure about that? You can't be that confident in who you are. Now, she said that she's never dated an Asian guy, but it doesn't change how she feels about him, okay? And he doesn't have to worry about that because her family is very accepting, okay? Her brother dates only Asian girls. One of her brothers have a half black girlfriend. Another one of her brothers have a Mexican girlfriend. So, he'll be accepted into their family. And then she said something like her family will be really happy because they're sick of her bringing home white dudes. Child, what in the world is going on? This is all weird to me, okay? Very much weird. And then this gets weirder, right? Because Patrick has a connection with Anna. And these two don't date their own kind. So much so that they're confused at the connection that they have. Because they're both used to dating white men and white women that they can't even understand why they would be connecting the way they are. And I'm like, so you didn't think that, your upbringing, your culture, any of that would bring you closer to each other? The simple fact that you talk about your struggle, especially Patrick, with dating, because he's always the only Asian person in the room, and now you have met someone with the same culture and stuff as you, and for some reason you felt like there wouldn't be any chemistry, and you were ready to write her off, and she was ready to write him off. And I'm just sitting here like, do y'all really love yourselves for real? Do y'all really love yourselves for real? Because it was very crazy for them to actually have to have this conversation about them having more feelings for each other outside of being friends. And it's crazy because they literally were looking at each other like, oh, we just gonna be friends. We gonna be able to get through this process together. She's gonna help me. I'm gonna help him. And not one time did y'all think that this could be a romantic relationship. I had a hard time watching Anna and Patrick together, but they do have this intense connection. And they both find that is really hot. And I like that for them. I'm happy that they can find love in each other so that they can find love in themselves. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Now, Joe is ready to ask Madison to marry him. He's even ready to fall in love with her cats, okay? He gets down on one knee. He asks her to marry him. And of course, she says yes. So there we go with our second couple, Madison and Joe. So then we get to the last scene of episode 2, and Anna is struggling so bad with her emotions. And Patrick, on the other hand, is just like, he is ready to like pour out his heart to her. And he goes into the pod, and she's supposed to be in the other pod, and he is just calling for her, calling for her, calling for her. Like, Anna, where are you? Anna, where are you? And there is no answer whatsoever. He is like coming out like, I'm supposed to have a date. Like, what's going on? And y'all, we gonna find out in episode 3. We gonna find out in episode 3. And y'all, that was episodes 1 and 2. Whew, it was a lot to get through, okay? The next episodes won't be as complicated. I promise you they won't. I hope you guys stick with me, stick with me, stick with me, okay? 3 and 4 will be up soon, and 5 and 6 will be up tomorrow. I know it's a lot going on, okay? It's a lot going on. We just got to get through the initial episodes, and then it is smoothing out, okay? So you guys go ahead, get in the comments. Let me know what you think about everything so far. Let me know what you think about the cast so far, the connections that are being built. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.